The scream came from the sand before the sun went down. I heard my name carried on hot wind, and I knew the desert had already decided to keep me. I was part of a small survey team sent to map an abandoned desert route, rumored to hide old ruins. The locals warned us not to travel after dusk. They said the sand remembers footsteps and calls them back. We laughed and continued anyway. By late afternoon, the heat pressed down like a living weight. The horizon wavered. Our vehicles crawled forward, leaving thin tracks that vanished almost instantly. The desert erased everything. We stopped near a cluster of broken stone pillars, half buried in sand, ancient and wrong. Symbols were carved deep into them. The air felt colder there, too quiet. When the sun touched the horizon, the wind died. That was when the whispering started. It came from beneath the sand, soft voices overlapping, speaking in languages none of us knew yet, somehow understood. They said we were late. They said the night was hungry. One of the team members, named Farid, stepped away to record audio. The sand beneath him shifted. He froze. His face went pale. Something grabbed his ankle. The sand exploded upward, as if something underneath was breathing. Fred screamed as he was pulled down inch by inch. We ran to him, but the sand swallowed his legs like water. His hands clawed at the air until only his face remained. Then he was gone. The desert went still again. We stood there, shaking, unable to understand what we had seen. No blood, no struggle marks, just smooth, untouched sand. We decided to leave immediately. The engines would not start. Night fell fast. The sky turned black and filled with stars that felt too close. The temperature dropped sharply. Our breath fogged in the air. Footsteps circled the camp. Slow, bare, heavy. Shapes moved beyond the edge of our lights. Tall, thin silhouettes that bent wrong. Their eyes reflected pale yellow. Their mouths opened too wide. They began to chant. The sound vibrated through the ground and into our bones. The sand started to ripple like skin. Faces pressed up from below, screaming silently. One of the figures stepped into the light. It wore the shape of a man, but its body was cracked and dry like clay. Sand poured from its mouth when it spoke. It said the desert remembers every death. It said, blood feeds the dunes. It reached toward us, and the sand grabbed our feet. We ran. The desert twisted. Directions stopped making sense. The ruins reappeared again and again, no matter which way we ran. The symbols on the stones now glowed faint red. Another teammate fell screaming as the sand opened beneath her. Hands pulled her under. Her screams turned into choking sounds, then stopped. I hid behind a pillar, gasping for air. The whispering returned inside my head. It showed me visions, caravans buried alive, armies lost in storms of screaming sand, travelers drinking from poisoned wells. Every death layered beneath the dunes. The desert was not empty. It was full. The figures closed in. Their chanting rose. The sand beneath the pillars cracked open, revealing a pit lined with bones and dried blood. At the center lay a massive shape, coiled beneath the earth. The heart of the desert. It stirred. A sound like grinding stone filled the night. The ground split open. A colossal form rose, made of sand, bone, and shadow. Faces screamed across its surface. Arms reached out endlessly. It chose me. I was dragged toward the pit. My nails tore against stone. The creature loomed overhead, blotting out the stars. Its voice shook my mind. It said, "One must remain to remember." I screamed and blacked out. I woke to sunlight and silence. I was alone. The vehicles were gone. The pillars were gone. Only endless sand stretched in every direction. I walked until my lips cracked and my vision blurred. I collapsed, expecting death. Instead, I heard footsteps. Rescuers found me days later, wandering barefoot. I told them everything. They found no ruins, no tracks, no signs of the team. At night, I still hear whispering. When the wind blows sand across my window, I hear names. Sometimes the desert calls me to come back. Sometimes I answer in my sleep. If you enjoyed this story, then please like and subscribe.